about Wounded Sisters coming out and a little more about the book. We've been talking more, Mary, about your background lately, a lot of the struggles you've gone through, but really not as much the book.
Well, I'm looking forward to it coming out tomorrow. I've had a lot of people asking me when it's coming out, where they can buy it, when I'm going to have a book signings. And I have several book signings already ready to go in my hometown of Mason and also in my hometown of Junction is where I went to school. So everybody's been on Facebook asking me about it and what the book is about. And so I'm really looking forward to getting it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that to get it out there and talk about when people read Wounded Sisters, what should they expect?
Well, it is a fiction. It's a Christian fiction, and the thread that runs through this whole story from beginning to end is about forgiveness. But it's a story of some women that grew up together in Marfa, and their little backstories of what's going on in their lives and how they come together to help each other. Uh, that's why it's called Wounded Sisters, because it's about friendship among women and how we need that so desperately to get through the things in life that we encounter. So that's one of the things about the book, and it involves three different aspects, actually. The one part about the friends, the four friends that are in the book, and then there's a young woman that comes from Kentucky, and what happened to her. I'm not going to say what happened to her. You're going to have to read the book to find out.
No, it's just interesting all these people coming together and
Yes,
they all are dealing with some sort of trial in their lives.
yes, yes. There's a lot of trials in there, and they all come together in Fort Davis, Texas, which is one of my favorite places to go to. And there is a little seminar being held out there, a little convention for pastors' wives, and how they all come together as a place just to go and share some of their hurts and some of their sorrows in a quiet place where they know that they're safe. They can share their feelings with each other and know it's not going to go anywhere else. So that's part of the book. But all of it comes to a head in how they share their stories with each other, what happens to the other women in the story. And there's some funny parts in it. It's not all totally serious. I mean, I tried to make it as much real to life as I could. And a lot of I like to tell people, it took me nearly 7 years to write this book, but I share a lot of my own experiences in each one of the characters. There's a little bit of me in there because I like to write things that are
Yeah.
real. And one of the things, I think I mentioned this before, one of the things I learned in my journey of writing is to write what you know.
Yep.
And so I want it to come across as real. So women or whoever reads it, there is a part in there about a man, but I just want people to know, hey, this is real. This conversation sounds real. So they can relate to it and they can see God throughout the whole story, that he's in every bit of it, and how they can turn to God even when they've messed up and ask for forgiveness. But one of the biggest things, Neil, in the whole book is about forgiving yourself for the mistakes you made. And don't get bogged down in that because God wants us to let go and go forward with our life and Him guiding us. So that's very important. That's a very important part of the book.
So the characters in the book are all meeting in a specific area in Texas.
Yes,
But they all run into pastors' wives, which are surprised because they're all going through trials and tribulations. They would never think that pastors' wives would go through trials and tribulations.
exactly. One of the women in the book, actually, she's one of the main characters. Um, she didn't want to be a pastor's wife. Well, she wound up being one, and she's one of the girls. She's one of the four friends. And she doesn't want to go up there to that seminar because she's mad. She doesn't want to be a pastor's wife. Well, she gets up there and things start to change because she starts to hear, she starts to see, she starts to developing a heart of compassion And that's important too.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And that's the thing. It really is that basically, so were there other pastors' wives, or is he basically who are the characters? We can talk about the characters without giving the book away. Who are your main characters?
Okay, there's a character, the one, her name is Maggie, and she's one of the main characters. She did not want to be a pastor's wife. She became a pastor's wife later on in life. Her husband decided he wanted to go to the seminary, and that's how she became a pastor's wife. And she's just as mad as a hornet about it. And she doesn't want, she can't, she tells people, say, I can't sing, I can't play the piano, I hate to teach. But so the people in her church and her husband decide that she needs to go to this seminar. And then she has her good friends. One of them's name is Dot. She's a nurse, and another one named Millie, who's a nurse. And these are the four friends, and one named Connie, who is the deputy sheriff's wife. And they all grew up together in Marfa. And Maggie's the only one that goes up to the seminary. I mean, to the seminar. And the other three girls, they're kind of in the background, but they're kind of pushing her to do this to get her more settled into the where God has led her to be. And then the other person, her name is Sissy. She's the one that comes from Kentucky. And there's a lot involved in her story. She's very, very young, and there's a tragedy that happens, and she's running away from Kentucky and coming to Texas and winds up at the seminar.
Hmm. How many
So,
people were all together in the seminar?
six women, and
Oh my, okay.
plus the two people, Mamie, who is in charge of it, and Elena. So there's six women there plus the two leaders.
Wow. And
It's a very small, intimate group. And Mamie says, I want y'all to feel comfortable and safe. What's said here stays here. So these women can share their hearts.
yeah. You know, it's interesting that you did how much of this is real that you're not with different names, like people you've met your whole life that you've had counseled and stuff.
Not too much, Neil, because I didn't want to have somebody call me up and say, Hey, what are you doing writing about me? So I had to do a lot of changing things up, but it is experiences that I've seen and things that I have heard. There is a man involved in the story, and he's an abusive person, but instead of having him killed, which I wanted to do in the first of the book, but I changed it and got him saved. But that's part of the story. Instead of hating somebody and wanting revenge, pray for that person and pray that they get saved. So we'll see if he gets saved or not, if he winds up not coming home. That's
It's
a
gonna
mystery.
it's gonna be interesting. It totally is. I mean, because you never know
Yeah,
in a situation like this.
yeah. But
And we're
I'm hoping that everybody who reads the book will see a little bit of themselves in it. That's why I expanded it so across the board, different kind of women from different backgrounds and different storylines, because I want them to understand the biggest thing, a big takeaway I want on this book, Neil, is somebody call me up and say, I've been there. I know how that feels. And being feeling like God is not in the middle of your messes, but he
right.
is in the middle of your messes. And he wants to turn your mess into a message for
Yes.
others if you give it back to God.
And that's the important thing to give it back to God
Yes.
and so much in your story. And is this going to be a standalone book or are you going to write a sequel
Oh
to
no,
this?
there's a sequel coming.
There's a
There
sequel.
sure is.
You're already in the midst of writing it, aren't you?
I am. I'm using the same characters and same location.
And what are you learning from writing second time through? Because remember, the first time you wrote 20 years ago, now
Yeah,
you're back writing this. It took 10 years to write.
yeah.
How are you speeding up the process to get yourself
Well, I had to take a little bit of a leave during this story because of my grandson.
right?
I stopped writing for about 2 years. And basically that was a time of grief for me. So that's going to be what's going to take place in the next book. And I've learned so much through this book about, I've always been a Christian, but I think writing this book and getting things out has made me more faithful. I
Yeah,
really do. And that no matter what happens, God is there. Even when you're in your deepest, darkest times,
he's
God
going to
is
be there.
still there. He is in the dark with you. You're never in the dark by yourself. You don't have to be. So yes, that is one thing I did learn through the through writing this book. And I've had a lot of fun doing it too, Neil. My husband Dewey, we have what in the afternoon we call porch time. So we go outside, and during the series of writing this book, I read him every single chapter as I finished it. And he helped me with some of the characters. There is one character in the book that is kind of him, and I'm not going to tell you who because I
you
want
can't, you
people to
can't,
figure it out.
you can't tell. And that, so, but it just sounds very, very interesting. It's going to be available tomorrow on Amazon. Go ahead. Also, it's going to be available on the website very soon. We're just waiting until you have the ability to ship books, and then we'll have it available at the website, maryshearereckert.com. Really appreciate it, Mary. I can't wait. Then when we talk on Thursday, you're going to have to tell me, okay, this is a great day, great send off, March 17th. Tomorrow, it'll
Yeah.
be available on
Yes.
Amazon. Appreciate
Yes.
it, Mary.
Thank you for having me.
All right. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back.